Hello and welcome. This is a video about some Windows PC applications that I've written. To be honest, I've been writing programs since 1972, and I've always been very interested in creating software tools. Some of the tools have been fun, and some have been used in anger to help me earn my living. Please take a minute to read the disclaimer. I've done my best to put together a correct and working application and documentation, but the best laid plans of mice and men gae oft agley. I am sure there are many inaccuracies and incorrect things somewhere in the application or the scripts or the documentation. So please read the disclaimer. This video is about a script that I've developed. It's used to create a backup of a source folder and its contents. It doesn't just create a backup, it can be used to maintain that backup. If the original files are modified, updated, added, deleted, and you can then arrange that that information is correctly carried across to a backup. The backup is a script of about 200 lines, including comment. If you get rid of the comments, it comes down to about 125 lines of real code. The script is available online, where you can get it from the location. The script is called ns-sync-folders. It's on RipeTech. We're going to have a quick look and go and get it now. So let's see how to use the script. First thing we're going to need, this is the area that we're going to treat as our master data or source, and this is going to be the destination. I'm going to get a copy of the executable running. Okay, that's got the executable. Put it over there, make this area clear, make the whole thing a little bit bigger. This is where we're going to put the script when we've got it. Let's go get it. Here's the browser. We go to RipeTech. And under there, we'll find SQLite Ole scripts. And currently the most recent script there is ns-sync-folders. Let's click on it. There's the script, one text file. There are two areas or two lines you need to customize: the source folder and the destination folder. Right, let's take a copy. Control A, Control C, and paste it into the edit area. We don't need this anymore, so we can close it. And basically all we do now is say modify the source area, and when we've got our source we want to back it up, we create the empty destination and then just say execute. And there we are. If you were to modify the source, let's say we'll remove a file. This picture will take it away. Gone. If we now synchronize, this file is not really in the source, so it will be removed. And if we now go to our source and we add something, we'll put the file back in and run the script again. the destination gets updated. We've also got this little file here. It's a text file. I've opened it in my browser, in my favorite editor, and it only has ones in it. Let's have a look at the destination. Got ones in it as well. Delete them, stop editing them. Let's modify the ones, the source, and modify it. Put a 2 at the end. Save it. Close it. The destination should still be only ones. Yes. We run the script. And there's our ones. Let's have a look. It should now have a 2 at the end. It's got a 2 at the end. That's it. It's synchronized the two files. Very little more. It's quite a nifty little script. There's quite a bit going on. So if you wanted to have a look at a bit of the technical details, then we'll do that in the next step. Some of the technical details. Well, let's take this, let's make this a little bit bigger. What we've actually done is we've created a table called source that's got information from the file system about all of the files and folders in the source location. We can actually go in, this is a macro that I've written, db file list. If you wanted to know more about it, you would do something like give that command, help and the name of the file, of the command, execute, and here is a breakdown of how to use db file list and the parameters. In short, it creates a table. The table consists of for each file and folder under that location. The start address that we gave it was the source location. So it keeps a copy of the current path of the entry, the name of the entry, and information such as the extension attributes, whether it's a file or the type, whether it's a file or a folder. File size in bytes, creation date, last access date, last write date. And there's an empty field called hash, important in a few minutes, and a column that I've added myself. Once we've created db file list using the default parameters, I've then added an extra column, and I've put into this column the relative path of the file entry, the relative path of the entry to the source. So these are on the top level. They would have a null or empty relative path. Things inside pix A would have pix A as their relative path. Here you see pix A. These have got nothing as a relative path, but we still have included in this key not just the relative path, but the file or the entry's name, its size in bytes, and its last write to date. So there you see the last write to date, and there's the bit hard to see, but after JPG you've got the file size 178186 in bytes. And what we do is we use that as a key to decide whether a file exists, has been modified or created or deleted. So we create this table for the source, and then we create a similar table for the destination. We then compare the two to see if there's any folders or subfolders in the source which are not in the destination. If there are any, then we will create the appropriate folder, subfolder in the destination. This is what we're doing here, creating the appropriate folders. And once the folder structure is okay, we can then copy the contents of the files across. And again, we only do it if the keys aren't matching. If we say, I don't have this file with that date and that file size, in that case, we will copy the file across. With query is an interesting command. It's a database command where we get a result, and then we scan through each line of the result using information taken from the result. We'll leave that for now. As I said, it's about 180 lines, about 125 of real code. By all means, take it, modify it. Maybe you'd want to modify it and say, when we create the source files, you might say, I don't want to synchronize maybe text files. So you could then say, create the source files, and then include something like delete from source where, let's do it with text files, where extension is like txt. And that would remove files with an extension text from this list, the source list. It won't remove them from the database, from the file system. It only removes them from the database. And if they're not in the database, then they won't be synchronized. So there's little add-ons you can do to make it, customize it for your particular use. Right, that's all. A nifty little script, quite pleased with it. It saved me an awful lot of time, and I've ended up synchronizing on a weekly basis. My source file was well in excess of 150 gigabytes when I finished the project where I had to update that every week. If you find that you're still in the dark, you can of course contact me via email. My mother language is English, but I've spent some 30 odd years in Germany, so if you want, gern auf Deutsch. That's it from now. That was PlodWare. Until the next video. Cheers.